we worked with finding a percent change. Today we're going to be working kind of the opposite, where they're going to tell us how much it changed by percentage, and we're going to find that new amount. So yesterday we had the two amounts and we found out what the percent change was, whether it was an increase or a decrease. Today they're going to give us an original amount and ask us to either increase it or decrease it by a certain percentage. So the key thing to remember is in this we're going to be doing some increasing or decreasing in our very first step. So here we have if we had an increase, so if it told us that a number increased by a certain percentage, we're going to add. So if we had an increase, we're going to go ahead and add 100% to that original percent. So that'll be our step in the very beginning. And then we'll change that percentage into its decimal form. If it says a percent decrease, well, we're going to go ahead and if it says a decrease, we're going to subtract that percentage from 100. So we're doing the front end instead of doing our adding or subtracting in the back end. Okay, I just think it's easier when we're working off of that 100% than to work with some numbers that are harder to add and subtract in the end. Okay, so here we have 8 meters is increased by 25%. So we see the word increased. So that means we're going to add 100% to this. Okay, because we had 100% and then it went up another 25%. So that now gives us a new percentage of 125%. So we want to find 125% of our 8. So we're going to be multiplying that by 8. So our decimal form is 1.25 times 8. So if we do that on our calculator, okay, so 1.25 times 8 gives me 10. So I just found out that 8 meters increased by 25% would now be 10 meters. Okay, so let's go ahead and try another one of those. So remember, if it says increased, we're going to add the 100%. And if it says decreased, we're going to subtract from 100 because it dropped that much. Okay, so this time it says decreased by 26%. So if it was decreased, we're going to take 100% and decrease it by 26. So we're going to subtract. So 100 minus the 26. And I know a very common made mistake here is kids will try and do this in their head and then they're off by 10. So make sure that you're double checking, maybe check with a partner or just use your calculator to do that. Make sure that you're getting the right number when you subtract. So when I subtract between these, I now get 74%. Okay, so I want to find 74% of, so times 50. So it becomes 0.74 times 50. Okay, 0.74 times 50 gives me 37. So if 50 points is decreased by 26, it's now only 37 points. Okay, let's try a couple more of those. So this time, 68 students is increased by 125%. So we see a percentage that's already greater than 100, but remember, it's increasing by that much. So we're going to still add 100. So if we add 100%, our new percentage is 225%. Of means times 68. So we're going to use 2.25. That's our decimal form of that times 68. Okay, so we should end up with a number that's much larger than 68. So 2.25 times 68 gives me now I have 153 students. Okay, now let's try one more. Okay, so another decreased one. So when we decrease, we're going to subtract from 100%. So we want to take 100% minus 32%. So 100 minus 32 should give us 68. So we want 68% of 62. So we should get a number that's smaller than 62. So 0.68 times 62 gives us 42.16. Okay, 42.16. So if they had asked for the nearest kilogram, then you would say it's 42. Otherwise, you could leave your answer exactly as you see it. I would say if you get one of these where the answer has a lot of decimal places, maybe go to the nearest hundredth or the second decimal place, unless it specifically just says to round to the nearest number. So it's about 42 kilograms. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys 2 to try on your own. Okay, so try these 2. Remember, if it says decreased, you subtract from 100. And if it says increased, you add 100. So go ahead and pause your video and work your way through these 2. Okay, so for this first one, decreased was 100 minus that. So you want to figure out 60% of 180, so 0.6 times 180. You should have gotten 108 students. Okay, and on the next one, it was increased, so we should have added 100%. So we get 175% new. So we should have taken 1.75 times our 16, which gave us 28 meters. Okay, so that's working with finding a new amount when we're given a percent increase or decrease.